My name is Josh Denne, and I have the honor and privilege of hosting this evening's call and introducing our very special guest, and really the man behind what I believe will be one of the most important movements. And I don't think that's too strong of a word, and certainly in America, but I think anywhere in the world. He's been fighting a very good fight. I know today we have some extraordinary people that are listening in, some people that have achieved tremendous success as entrepreneurs in all sorts of different industries, some medical professionals, in fact, some very famous doctors, physicians, healers, people that have been working very hard to make people well in a very insane time. We also have some extraordinary investors. I know people that have done very well, and you've been invited specifically because of the information you're going to hear from Dr. Eric Nepute. And there's a tremendous opportunity, I believe, here. And Dr. Nepute was fighting against the most scary opponent you could go against, which is the United States federal government. But he knew he was right, and he won. But it was really a David and Goliath type story. And when you hear what he has to say, you'll know, yeah, he was in the right. He did something special. And so without further ado, I want to introduce my good friend and someone I respect tremendously, Dr. Eric Nepute, to take the stage and share with us your vision for what Bio Limitless is doing and why people should care.
Well, Josh, first of all, thank you for those amazing accolades. And first of all, I'm just humbled and honored to be here. Let me introduce myself a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit about my background, then I'll get into the project that we've got. So my name's Dr. Eric Nepute. I always tell folks, look, I'm just the son of a pig farmer. I just know how to get up, work, and take care of people. And I've done that my entire life. I'm all about truth, trust, and transparency, and always have been. And I'm a physician by trade. I've got a unique background, so let me kind of tell you a little bit about it. So, I've got a doctorate in natural medicine, a doctorate in chiropractic. I'm a primary care physician and have been in the state of Missouri for over 20 years now. Have a fellowship in functional neurology, a fellowship in internal health. I practice what's known as functional medicine. That's helping people get to the root cause of their problems and trying to help the best we can through lifestyle changes, supplementation, and try to minimize the use of drugs and surgery. I don't know where I left off or where I died off. The reality of it is that, my background is a little bit unique and different. And we've got this understanding that self-care is the real healthcare. And I've spent my entire career helping people understand more about themselves so that they can be empowered in their own health and their own wellness. That's what Bio Limitless is. And during that crazy time, whenever COVID was happening and the pandemic was happening, my practices, we saw over 11,000 patients. 11,000. And nobody died, nobody went to the hospital. It was a really unique time. And instead of the government and other agencies asking me what we did and what my doctors did to help people, they sued me, and they sued me for $508 billion. Let me say that again, $508 billion. The world is upside down and it has been for a while, but people are seeking truth and transparency more than ever. And after fighting a 3.5 year exhaustive battle with the United States government, I beat them. And look, they offered me money to go away. They said you can either have your freedom and be able to continue to talk about what you talk about, do what you do, or we're going to pay you off and you're going to get a gag order from the Department of Defense and you're done. And I said, well, you can keep my money because I'm more about the mission. And here I am to this day, able to tell people about what happened. And not only did I win my lawsuit against them, but ironically enough, once the government found out about some of the projects and technologies I have, they actually partnered with me on 2 of my projects right now. And one of them actually has to do with AI technology that we're using with the Department of Defense. The same technology we're using with our app. So it's very serendipitous what happened to me. But that frustration led me to the realization that if we're going to create a parallel healthcare system, and that's what we've done, we've created a system that is more accessible, more convenient, more affordable, and gets better results. And not only do we have different components, like Bio Limitless, the project, the vision behind Bio Limitless is to give people education, inspiration, and motivation to have precision testing and precision therapeutics so that you can understand more about your health than you've ever understood before. And if self-care is the real healthcare, we have to have brick and mortar facilities, which we have opportunities for that. We have licensure opportunities where doctors and telehealth physicians can license our technologies and use it in their practice.
We have affiliate projects where affiliates can share what we do and monetize that. And we have a direct to consumer peer to peer division where we're using blockchain and smart contracts to disrupt the industries where there's a lack of truth, transparency, and trust. August the 17th was our actual pre-launch. And on August the 17th, I'm rolling out with three big things. Really four, but three that I want to tell you about primarily. Number one is we're launching with what I feel is one of the most influential tests that an individual can do. There's a genetic profile test that we've developed and created over the last 15 years that we've perfected that helps tell you more about your health than probably the last 15 to 20 years combined of seeing all kinds of healthcare experts. It's a genetic swab. It's a little spit test where we can literally collect your saliva. And based off of your saliva, there's a test that we have that can tell you how your body processes fats, carbs, and proteins, which means we can tell you what diet is best for you, what food you should eat, what food you should avoid. We can measure the genetic receptor sites in your body for all your vitamins, minerals, and herbs to tell you what vitamins you need, what nutrients you need, what predispositions you have because of those potential deficiencies and toxicities. We can measure how your body responds to stress. We can measure how your body responds to exercises and activities. And we can, through the use of our AI technology, we can measure all those things and give you a roadmap of you to follow. And look, if self-care is the real healthcare, and that's really truly what it is, you've got to learn how to navigate your own health. And no two people are the same genetically. My wife has a twin sister, an identical twin sister, and they have different genetic profiles. And so it's one of the most powerful tests that you can do. And by the way, there are other companies out there that do genetic profiling. In fact, there's a lot of them out there that charge about 800 to 900 bucks, and they measure about 5 different SNPs. And after they measure those 5 SNPs, they tell you to eat good food, drink good water, exercise, sleep well, and take their vitamins. That's really what they tell you. It's a massive waste of time, energy, money, and resources. Well, for around the same cost, a little less actually, we can run 800,000 SNPs. 800,000 SNPs. And out of those 800,000 SNPs, we have 250 of them that are actionable today. And what actionable means is that there's a scientific consensus that these 250 SNPs, if you have these gene imbalances, you are predisposed to these problems. And if you do X, Y, and Z, you can mitigate and prevent the chances of you developing problems with that. We can literally tell you what to eat, how to sleep, how to exercise, what peptides that are best for you, what drugs might be problematic for you. You're going to learn so much about yourself. And then the other 800,000 SNPs minus the 250, science is always changing and evolving. And you're going to get an app that you can use to navigate your health journey. And when those other 800,000 SNPs become a scientific consensus, you're going to get an indication that, hey, this SNP now tells us this. You now have this gene, which basically can mean it can cause X, Y, and Z problems for you. And this test is only one and done. You only have to do it once in your life. So it's one of the most fundamental, foundational tests that anybody can do. By the way, when I explain that self-care is the real healthcare, and I ask people how do they know what vitamins they take or what diet to use or what exercise to do, they all go, well, I don't know. TikTok told me, or I don't know. I saw it on a video somewhere. What if you could know with sniper rifle accuracy what you should do for yourself? If every man, woman, and child had this type of information literally from birth, it would change the trajectory of our healthcare period on the planet today. And folks, I don't know if you know this. I can only really speak for America on this, but we spend over $5 trillion a year on our healthcare system. 5 trillion. And 2.5 trillion of that money is going towards administrative bureaucratic spend. And what that means is half of that $2.5 trillion, half of that 5 trillion doesn't go towards improving the outcomes of our patients' therapies to your loved ones and yourself. And that's not okay. And $250 billion of that goes back to kickbacks for insurance companies, HMOs, PPOs, PBMs for pharmacies. It's just the system is broken. And we've always said if the system seems too big to fail, just like the banking system and the healthcare system, it's time to create a parallel one. And Bio Limitless has done that. And August the 17th, we're rolling out our phase 1 launch, which includes the genetic profile testing, includes the app that you're going to get that's going to navigate all the information. Those of you that have seen the app have all just been blown away by what this app can do and how it's laid out and what it can tell you. And then in August, we're rolling out with 2 of our foundational formulas. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people take vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and consume a lot of food, right? We really don't have a deficiency of food consumption and calorie consumption in America. We really don't have a deficiency of nutrients as much as we do of the lack of our body's ability to use those nutrients. If you think about foods, vitamins, minerals, and supplements, those are like the foundational building blocks of your body. If you're going to build a house, you need glue, raw materials, screws, wood, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's what supplements are. But you need worker bees to take those raw materials and put them to work. And in the body, there's about 5 different worker bees. There's enzymes, there's stem cells and exosomes, there's something called peptides, there's microbacteria, and then there's hormones. Folks, I don't know if you know this, but once we get over the age of 30, we lose 90% of our body's ability to produce those cell signaling technologies. And our body can't signal our cells. And if the quality of our health is in direct proportion to the health of our cells, and if our cells aren't being signaled, how can they work? And the answer is they can't. And so one of the formulas that we have is called cell signaling formula. It's a tripeptide formula. Yes, a peptide derivative formula that has 3 peptides in it. It has BPC 157, which helps heal cells and tissues. It has epimorelin in it, which helps improve muscle mass and growth factor, which keeps our muscles strong, which is the leading indicator to help reduce our blood sugars in our body. And one of the leading indicators to keep us healthy and longevity is our muscle mass. And we lose that massively once we get over the age of 30. And it also has a peptide in it called Cmax, which is a neuroprotective peptide that helps with things like anxiety, depression, and insomnia. We've put that tripeptide blend in with one of the most powerful ATP formulas to produce energy for people, because most people's get up and go, got up and went, and they don't have enough energy to get through their day. And so this tripeptide formula utilizes a proprietary delivery system that's patented. It's a global international patent that allows those peptides to be used orally. And I'm going to release a study on the 17th in Vegas that's a white paper study that we did that compares injectables to oral distribution of our formula. And when you inject peptides, which by the way, if you inject those 3 peptides alone on a monthly basis, you're probably spending around $400 a month just on those peptides. Then when we add the other cofactors to it, that formula, if you did it from an injection standpoint, would be a $500 a month formula. We're doing it for a fraction of the cost, and we're doing it on an oral delivery system. We've proven that the oral delivery system gets 90% of the peptides into the small intestine, which is where they need to be to absorb. And then we get between 60 to 85% absorption, depending upon the peptide, into the bloodstream, proven off of blood tests, which is almost equivalent, if not better in some cases, than injections. And by the way, from an injection standpoint, when you inject a peptide, it's a drug. You're supposed to have a prescription for that. When you take a peptide by mouth, it's a supplement. Same thing with B vitamins. If you take B vitamins as an oral supplement, it's a supplement. If you inject it, it's a drug. So we've been able to crack the code with our proprietary peptide delivery system, which is amazing. It's a game changer by itself. By the way, I've had multiple pharmaceutical companies try to buy that patent from us, and we told them no, because this is not something that we're going to go back into that old backward systems with. This is something that we're truly going to help people improve their health. So now you got a way to wake your cells back up, which is going to help your body stop the aging process and help your cells get better, which will help your tissues get better, which will help your organs improve, which helps your body improve. The days of treating symptoms and disease, folks, are just so antiquated. It's not funny. We need to be focusing on cellular and genetic health. We have that ability. We also created a very unique microbiome formula called the Master Microbiotic. I don't know if you know this, but over 95% of our population deals with a condition called leaky gut, which is medically known as dysbacteriosis or dysbiosis. When you have leaky gut, you have problems like leaky brain, leaky blood, and leaky organs, which, by the way, leads to things like anxiety, depression, insomnia, leads to a weakened immune system, autoimmune problems, and leads to all kinds of GI problems like irritable bowel disease, Crohn's, colitis, IBS, poor absorption, and the list goes on and on. We know that 90% of your immune system is in your gut. We know that 90% of the neurotransmitters that tell your brain to be happy and balanced and feel fulfilled comes from the gut. And even Hippocrates, the father of medicine, said first fix the gut and everything falls into place. Well, there's a lot of products on the market, and I've spent the last 15 years trying to crack the code on how do we heal people from leaky gut of all ages. And normally I have to make massive diet changes and put people on 3 to 4 to 5 nutritional products for about 6 months. We have a formula that's showing to be a one and done formula. I'm going to release the white paper on that product at the Vegas event, but what we've done is we did something really unique. Is we took all the spore-based bacteria, not the cultured bacteria that most of you are taking in the probiotics that aren't living and don't work. These are spore-based bacteria and fungi. And we took the 7 fungi and spore-based bacteria that are normally in the blue zones with people. The blue zones are areas of the world like Okinawa, Japan, places like Sardinia, places, even some places in California where people live regularly to be over 100. And there's one huge commonality with those people. They have 7 microorganisms that typically keep their immune system and their body healthy. We took all 7 of those bacteria and fungi, put them in a spore-based delivery system, put them in our phytomicro encapsulation formula so that we can get them past the stomach and implant them into the GI tract. And the study I'll show you guys in Vegas shows that not only can we get these bacteria into the small intestine, but they can culture. What does that mean? That means that they actually turn your body back into living bacteria. You have more bacteria on and in your body than you do human DNA. And the quality of the health of our cells is in direct proportion to the health of our bacteria. And so we literally have the ability to crack the code for gut health and crack the code for cell signaling, and then do the genetic profile to tell you how to live your lifestyle. So we're going to start with that. Plus, we're giving you an app that's going to give you all the abilities to learn more about your health. And then we're doing something really unique. We're starting a crowd fund for our Bio Limitless Centers of Excellence. In 2025, we're going to start opening up Bio Limitless Centers of Excellence all over the planet. In fact, our goal is to open up 200 over the next 3 years. And I'm going to tell you that 200 number seems very minuscule now because of all the responses that we've got from people that we've already explained this to. We haven't even launched yet. In fact, the Japanese are excited about this. The Europeans are excited about this. The South Americans are excited about this. And North America can't wait to open these on every corner of every major metropolitan city on the planet. Imagine a health and wellness center where you can go that's vibrant and full of life and high energy, and not this boring clinical, just depressive scenario where you're going to go in there and you're going to have highly trained healthcare experts from all backgrounds helping you get to the root cause of your problem. A place where you can go that looks like an Apple store and a Tesla store got together and had a baby with the coolest health and wellness center on the planet. And you can do everything from get vitamin infusions to stem cell IVs to regenerative medicine to natural pain management, to learn how to not only fix broken adults but to raise healthy children. You can even get your hair done at this place, not cut, but we can regrow that stuff. I mean, it's amazing what we can do. And by the way, in phase 2, which is launching in Dubai, we're going to release another dozen formulas that are peptide driven formulas, everything from hormone balance to weight loss to muscle gain and etc. And we've been able to crack the code on microdosing peptides. That's right, microdosing. Because the problem with peptides, just like the problem with anything that's good, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. You drink too much water, you're going to pull the minerals out of your system. You drink way too much water, you're going to drown. Well, too many peptides can cause problems, and people are seeing that with what's happening with Ozempic and Wegovy and trizepatide and all that stuff. Well, we're able to microdose now with semaglutide and the formula we created for weight loss that we actually did a 6-week study on. And what we found was in 6 weeks of men being on this formula, that they lost an average of 25 to 26 pounds. And women on average lost 24 to 25 pounds. So it's amazing. And it's fat loss that these people have done. And so we're going to be rolling that out. One of the companies that I have that I've been working with for the last 7 years, we're in the regenerative medicine space. We take stem cells and we extract the exosomes from them. And we've been able to have the first FDA approved exosome IVs and injections. And we're taking those same exosomes. We're in phase 3 clinical trials with the FDA right now to have the very first FDA approved oral over the counter exosome therapy. Why is that powerful? Look, people are getting injections of exosomes and stem cells. Mel Gibson was just on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about his father getting IVs of stem cells and exosomes to help him with his neurodegenerative diseases. And people typically, 1 cc of exosomes typically has about 15 to 20 billion cells in it. Ours has over 62 billion. So it's 4,000 times stronger than most of the cells that are on the market. And 1 cc of an injection could cost you $2,500. But what if we were able to give it to an oral formula that shows almost as equal of absorption, and it's literally less than $200 a month for this? I mean, what if that existed? These are some of the strongest natural anti-inflammatories and immune modulators on the planet. I'm telling you, we live in the 21st century of healthcare, but we're not practicing it. Bio Limitless is giving people the access to be able to do that from a brick and mortar standpoint, from a licensure standpoint, from an affiliate standpoint, and from a direct to consumer standpoint. We've literally cracked the code to disrupt the healthcare system and the wealthcare system. And listen, I could go on and on and on about all the things that we have to offer and all the stuff that we're doing, but this is really a mission. This is a mission driven opportunity. Yes, there's opportunities to make money, but look, I've already said this before. My days of gold, glory, and girls are over. If I wanted to make money off this deal, I would have literally taken a settlement from the government, taken my money, and went on a beach somewhere. Or I could have easily sold this technology to the pharmaceutical companies that are trying to buy it from us. But this is a passion for me to be able to put health and care back into healthcare, to be able to put the doctor relationship back together, to be able to find a home for the hundreds of thousands of disenfranchised doctors and healthcare experts all across the globe that don't know where to go anymore to practice, and that have been chewed up and spit out by the system, and to be able to have a system that's by the people, of the people, and for the people, that must be launched first with the people. And that's why we're launching in August with our Bio Limitless direct offers and products, so that you, the end consumer, can start using this, selling this, monetizing this, getting testimonials, getting your health up. We need millions and millions of people, because that's what we need to stand up against the system that's failed us. So, Josh, there's a lot of other things that I could talk about and get into. I just wanted to kind of give you that 30,000 foot view of my story, a little bit about Bio Limitless. So, what else can I get into with you guys tonight? Any questions or other things you'd like me to discuss?
Outstanding job, sir, as always. Now would be the time to ask some questions. I know we're going to be doing some pretty extraordinary things as we move into our official launch in March of 2025. And so we have our really soft launch that we're kind of unveiling this to the world on the 17th, as Dr. Nepute just talked about, in Vegas. Hopefully you'll be there. I think there'll be some pretty cool things unveiled there. I know we're talking about the testing. Everyone's always asking about that. We're getting the testing. We're going to be talking about the reports. We're going to be able to get our hands on the product and the plan. So, Jeree, I see you there. Maybe you can tell your story real quick.
I'd love to. Such an honor to be here tonight with all of you guys. Well, my story is a little bit different because I've known Dr. Nepute for 3.5 years now. He's my personal doctor. And when I went to him in January of 21, I was a hot mess express. I had pretty much given up that my health was going to go anywhere good, because I was seeing 4 different medical doctors, all in 4 different areas of medicine, that could not figure out what was going on with me. They were all treating my symptoms, and the medications that they were giving me were actually causing me to get worse. And so by chance, I was introduced to him, and within 24 hours of doing some tests, he had me figured out. He realized that I'm sure he didn't even need to test me to know that I had leaky gut. And that was causing my liver to fail and be fatty. I had non-alcoholic fatty liver. And it was also causing the Meniere's disease that I had been diagnosed with, which I found out is a dumpster diagnosis. It's just something that a doctor will give you when they don't understand why it's happening to you. And so all that to say that it took about 90 days of taking good supplements, treating my gut good, eating right. You have to be serious about your diet. And it turned everything around. And so I am super, super excited to be here, you guys. I've been in this industry for, gosh, well over a decade, made millions of dollars here. But this, like Josh says, is a crusade, because we have an incredible man in Dr. Nepute leading the helm of this ship. And when I tell you that he is a genuine and a man that you can trust, absolutely. He talks about how doctors are teachers, and that's what they're supposed to do. And he spent hours with me explaining to me why I was sick and how I could get healthy. So you guys are in good hands, and we are on a crusade. And thank you so much, Dr. Nepute. We love you.
Well, Jeree, thank you so much for those kind words. And interestingly enough, when I met you, I was working on this project, and I didn't even tell you about it. I didn't even tell anybody about
You
it,
did
because
it.
And I was doing this while I was also fighting that big fight, and it's quite amazing what's happening. And I'm humbled and honored to be able to serve you. And we now have been able to take what we've done with you and be able to do it to the masses. So it's really quite amazing. So thank you.
Absolutely.
And I think it's me more excited to know that my friends, people I love and care about for about 20 years, Jeree, actually already were working with Dr. Nepute before I even knew you existed, sir. So this is great. The centers have been probably the topic of most discussion, especially amongst my investor friends and other doctors I know that have lots of clinics, and a few of my friends who have some hospitals. I know you're going to go into this on the 17th in detail, but can you kind of give a little highlight there?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, there are multiple opportunities for participation in these clinics. Let's just say you're not a doctor and you want to own some facilities. By the way, this is a great business model. A lot of you came to my office, one of my offices in St. Louis, and I intentionally brought you to one of my practices that was in a strip mall. And I wanted you to see that, I'm going to be extremely humble, but I'm going to tell you the truth. That practice brings in about $7 million a year. Okay. And it's in a strip mall. And so these Bio Limitless centers of excellence, the low end is going to be around $4.5 million a year they're going to bring in, and the top end, some of them are going to bring in 10 or $11 million a year. And from a business opportunity, it's amazing opportunity. So if you're a layperson and you're not a doctor, you want to own facilities, this is an opportunity to do it because we want it to be community driven. But if you are a physician and you want to participate in these, there's multiple ways to participate. If you already have a brick and mortar facility, yes, there's a licensure available for you so that your office can be powered by Bio Limitless. We're going to market for you. We're going to show you systems. We're going to help you. One of the things that I've done, and by the way, you're going to love the CEO that we have to share with you, who's the CEO of Bio Limitless Centers of Excellence, has trained and opened up over 16,000 doctors' offices. This ain't his first rodeo. I've only done it in 32, and it ain't my first rodeo. So there's licensure opportunities for brick and mortar practices. There's opportunities if you're a telehealth, telemedicine doctor for you to participate with our systems and services from telehealth. Not only will we teach you how to maximize your results, but we're also going to teach you some systems that can help maximize revenues for your practices as well. We want you to be successful, and it's a community driven so that the community is going to benefit from all this stuff. So it really is an amazing thing. And people ask me questions all the time. Are you guys going to allow for health insurance to cover? Are these services? No, we're not. And I need you to get your mind out of that box, because that box of health insurance, the same health insurance that dictates the level of health and care that you get, the same health insurance that tells my patients they can't have certain services from a physician that's never ever examined them, that tells them they can't do these services. Hell no, I'm not letting those people participate in because my job is to protect Bio Limitless. But you're thinking different. You're thinking that if my insurance doesn't cover it, I can't afford it. That is the most backwards way to think. And I promise I'm going to help you break that level of stinking thinking. And I'm going to show you how you can invest into your health. This is not a cost. This is a HIP, a health investment program. And by the way, we have opportunities for our patients who may have issues with affording their care. We have opportunities for that. We have projects that we're going to be releasing in the future that deal with MediShare and Meta Health programs that you have opportunities to really invest into your health, of true healthcare. Because I'm telling you, if you want to wait around and participate in the system that's the third leading cause of death on the planet, and that, by the way, is a system that is dictated by your insurance, and that the big industries suppress the data, then go ahead and by all means, you have the free will to participate in that system. But if you want to participate in the system that's going to educate you, inspire you, and motivate you, and something that is going to change your life, that, by the way, we know. I testified in front of the Texas Senate about, I don't know, 2013, 14. I told Ted Cruz and showed him how every $1 you invest into a program like this, you get a $3 return. When if you look at Medicare, every $1 the government invests, it costs you $3.50. Like, this is common sense health, you guys. So I promise you, I'm going to help you break out of that stinking thinking model and be able to take your health and care back to where it belongs, and that's to us.
Outstanding.
Go ahead, Josh.
It's funny, man. I must admit, when I pulled up to that center you talked about, I was like, where are you taking us? Because, picture this, folks. We had 25, 7-figure, 8-figure, like people that worth not just millions, but tens of people that were really, used to fancy stuff, and And I'm one of those people. So I'm like, what are you doing here, man? I know you, right? I know you've got some pretty crazy and amazing clinics.
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures and I was like, why here? And it really drove the point home, knowing that that spot, that little spot, and you know, it wasn't run down. It was great. It was just in a strip mall, and it wasn't what I expected. And that place is doing $7+ million a year. You know, I just thought of the opportunities for people and what, you know, especially some of my doctors, some of my buddies who, you know, are in clinics, and they're like going, man, how is he doing it there? Because I took pictures and whatnot. He's like, I'm all in. So here's another question about the testing, because I get the testing most often. Like especially when you talk about it, doctor, everyone's like, man, I want that. I want to know what's going on with me. And, you know, as I've seen a lot of the competitors, I mean, expensive with less than there's a, you know, a competitor that everyone knows from big social media mogul. And could you kind of give a little bit about just the specifics of the testing, that what they can expect and the pricing, what it may be? Because I think they're going to be blown away.
Yeah, so again, you know, you're referring to a lot of social media influencers that are selling genetic tests that promise to, you know, multiply your health by a certain number, 8 to 10x, maybe they might say. And that test, they're charging $799 for that test, and they're running 5 SNPs, 5. There are other companies that charge, you know, $700-800, and they run 10 SNPs. And you get information, and it's information, but it's not information that you can really take and run with. Imagine if there was a test that could tell you 800,000 markers and could measure your body's ability to digest fats, carbs, and proteins. That totally takes away your guessing of what type of diet you need. What if there was a test that shows you all the vitamins and nutrients and how your body absorbs them? I mean, that totally takes the guesswork out of what nutraceuticals you need. What if there was a test that showed how much sleep you really need, or how your body responds to stress? Or, like, for example, in my genetic profile, I have a gene that my body physically ages quicker if I don't exercise. So I need to push more weights based off of my body type as opposed to do cardio. What if there was a test that you could find out exactly what to do from not just a workout standpoint, but how intense your workouts are, the rest you need to be, the frequency and duration? I mean, it literally takes the guesswork out of everything. Josh, it's a blueprint that your body can follow. And again, I'm running that test for the exact same cost of these people that are out there running 5 or 10 SNPs. And we're running 800,000 that you're going to be getting data points for the rest of your life on. And you get an app that uses AI machine learning technology to help you decipher how to read those tests and what action steps to take. And by the way, those of you that have seen the app know that app also has a component on it where you can click on your DNA diet. And if you don't, you can put in how many calories you need to have. And if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, and not only will it tell you what foods to eat, but it'll give you menus, it'll give you recipes. And there's exercises in there on injury prevention. Like, I'm personally genetically predisposed to knee and calf issues. So there are certain exercises I do on a regular basis so that I can prevent the chance of me having to have an Achilles tear when I get older, or a knee replacement when I get older. This technology is already in 12 MLB teams, 10 NFL teams, and over 41 NCAA colleges across the board, just on the DNA component alone. This technology is no joke. By the way, just so everybody's clear, this is not some new thing that we've done. We've invested over $130 million into this project already. I mean, that's no joke. Everything into R&D, into research, into supply chain, into the technology, into the patents, into the delivery system, into the FDA approvals for the exosomes. I mean, this is a true healthcare delivery system that we're giving people the opportunity through networks and affiliates and et cetera to monetize and to share. Because I feel if we're going to have a healthcare delivery system that's by the people, of the people, and for the people, it needs to be driven by the people. You need to be able to not only participate in this, but be able to monetize this. Because if you buy in and you understand the benefits of this, that's how we take this thing over. That's how you know, doctors like myself that are out there practicing like silos, where we're one-off practitioners, we're vulnerable, but together we're massively strong. So, Josh, that's a little bit on the testing, a little bit on the pricing. I can promise you, I make everybody on here this promise. If you run that genetic profile test and you find out that it wasn't worth the cost of you investing in it, I will personally give you your money back. Because I promise you, you'll learn more from that DNA profile test than you have from any other healthcare practitioner in the last 20 years combined. I can promise you that one. I'm in
Yeah.
Missouri. It's the show me state. I'll show you.
Man, I'm telling you, I can't wait to see our results on that because just the brain test you did, everyone in that room was fire. I mean, it was like you saw it. Everyone's like looking at it, oh my God. And what's the cool thing, guys, is imagine being able to gamify your health, being able to know exactly what's going on with you specifically. There's not a one-stop one size fits all when it comes to your health care. Rodney was saying this. He's like, I'm 250, my girl's this. I mean, how can one thing be good for me and good for her at the same time? And that's so true. And I love how you say, don't guess, test. And just that one thing, being able to see a printout on the screen, going, all right, these are things I can do to improve my health for me, is a huge game changer, and very, very important. Now, let's see. I got Crypto Mech. You got your hand up. I'm going to unmute you, and I think we're going to wrap this up. We do have some other Zooms. Pay attention to get on the Telegram, get on the WhatsApp. We'll be communicating some new Zooms over the next few days. And then, of course, we'll see you all in Vegas. So go ahead, Crypto Mech. I see your hands up.
This is Sharon, also known as Mecca, that I met. You, Phil, referred me. And
Oh,
I met
yes.
you.
Go ahead. Good
I'm
to see you.
I'm a part of this with you and Dr. Eric that I met on Monday. And
Yeah,
I
you were
just want
you're at the Woodlands event in Houston. I remember that.
yeah,
What's your question, my friend?
I think I invited about 50 people on the call. So
Awesome.
so I've got my ticket. I'll be in Vegas. So I'm excited to be a part of this movement. And I just want to thank everybody that showed up and showed out for me tonight. And I look forward to seeing you guys again in Vegas next weekend. So I'm excited. And
Excited
I'm
to
really
see
ready
you.
to just grow this.
Congratulations on everything.
I want to push
Thank you.
this. I want to get everybody healthy, and I want to see everybody, just happy.
Yeah.
This is needed. This is needed. I'm so excited about it. And thank you
Amen.
for introducing me to everybody. Okay.
Looking forward to seeing you in Vegas. God bless. All right, guys. I think that is it for the Q&A. Dr. Eric Nepute, thank you so very much again for your time, for everything that you do, because I mean, I don't know how you do it. Honestly, we met you, which is interesting. I'll just say this last thing, because this is the dedication of this man. We wanted to have some testing with some people, and we came in. He had to fly in from Texas to St. Louis, where he met us. That night, he flew back to Texas to finish his meetings, then to Saudi Arabia, then back to Texas to do events in Dallas, and then Houston. And then I just, your dedication to the people is extraordinary. And it's really a tell about your character, that you're really on this mission and it's not just about money. And that's one of the things in business I've seen is some people will, they'll do whatever it is for the money, but they won't do it for the people. And you're not that guy. You're the guy who is going for the people for real. I mean, obviously you could have sailed off into the sunset many, many moons ago, my friend. And you're fighting the good fight and doing something special. I've met your family. Your son's amazing. You're an extraordinary human, and I'm proud to be on this mission with you, sir.
Well, Josh, thank you. I'm just excited to be doing what we're doing. And I believe that we all have a divine providence. And I believe that everything in life is for such a time as this. And I look forward to seeing everybody next week in Las Vegas. It's going to be amazing. Listen, we're going to be talking about new language, new culture. We're creating this new ecosystem. All I'm asking is for patience and grace, and I'm asking the same if you to me and me to you, because I know this, I live this, it works. It's going to take time for you guys to understand it, but wait till you see what's possible. Wait till you see the life that we can live and the lives that we can impact. It really truly is going to change humanity forever. And I just want everybody to remember that self-care is the real healthcare, and we together get to uncover that, and it's going to be amazing. So cheers.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Appreciate y'all. Be well.